But while it is unusual for government agencies to issue security advisories to guide citizens, one of such is now generating a lot of controversy. Certain clauses in the NYSC Security Awareness and Education Handbook for corps members and staff is raised the ire of Nigerians. They are now calling for the review of the NYSC scheme to meet current realities. Helen Samide Akins reports.
Nigerians were startled on Friday when a viral video surfaced online, appearing to encourage corps members to put measures in place in case they get kidnapped. It has raised questions about how desirable is the National Youth Service Scheme as presently operated. Page 57, subsection A of the handbook titled Security Awareness and Education Handbook for Corps Members and Staff reads, when traveling in high-risk road such as Abuja-Kaduna, Abuja-Lokoja-Okene or Port Harcourt Road, then alert your family members, friends and colleagues to have someone on hand to pay off the ransom that could be demanded. 57 subsection J also read, in this period of ICT, do not travel with communication gadgets like laptops, iPad, handsets and other electronic facilities that you store personal information such as finances, net worth, investment and business dealings, as kidnappers will charge according to your words. Similarly, do share such information with only family members and business partners. This security advisory may consider app, especially at a time when kidnapping for ransom seems to take place unhindered in some parts of the country. But the NYSC is under fire for issuing such a critical security alert in a widely circulated document. The social media has not stopped buzzing as comments, reactions and condemnation hit a scheme established in 1973 to foster national unity and promote integration. To some people, the advisory suggests a sense of helplessness on the part of the federal government in the face of growing security challenges. This also renders useless moves by the National Assembly to pass a bill that criticizes payment of ransoms to kidnappers.
NYSC shows that security in Nigeria is deteriorating, and what that also tells us is we're all on our own. So this also shows you that even if you have a general leading NYSC and you have all security personnel and the heads of security, it shows you that, well, really everyone is not safe and secured in Nigeria.
The government trying to normalize and make it look like it's normal that people should get kidnapped, and it's very, very sad that you are telling people that while you are coming for NYSC, you should also keep money for ransom, especially at a time like now where citizens are going through a lot of difficulties, where inflation has eaten so hard into people's income, where people cannot even afford basic things, and you are telling coppers who their parents is literally scratched to put them through school to also prepare millions to pay for ransom. It's a very ugly, disappointing.
In all of these, the NYSC administration also bucked its response with two conflicting press statements. The first was an outright denial of the controversial clauses, while the second statement admitted that some copies of the pamphlet in circulation contained the controversial security alerts. But these analysts think the NYSC scheme could have approached the situation differently.
The leadership of NYSC should be ashamed of themselves. And you see, Nigeria is a country without consequence. And this is why citizens don't trust government officials and institutions of government. At first, they came out and debunked this. Come on. And then later you say, oh, it's true, but it wasn't printed across Nigeria. And then you say, oh, you're now investigating. Why did you deny it in the first place? How are you going to rebuild trust and confidence in the people that you serve when you're lying? And this is a country that we're trying to fight fake news. Even with the shutdown of Twitter.
This is in some of their manuals, they are not aware. How can they not be aware? You're sharing information to people across the country, and so that means they don't have a unit that vets what goes out.
Kabiru Adamu is an intelligence expert, and this is what he thinks concerning the issue.
What may have likely happened is that the NYSC contracted training to private individuals, and very possibly there was no transparent process for contracting these private individuals. And so it's likely that the usual Nigerian way, somebody knows someone and then the contract is given. and the contractor now prepares these tips. And unfortunately, a very common phenomenon in Nigeria is that nobody within the NYSC sits down to vet what was prepared. Some of the content of that booklet, the tips, are inappropriate. You don't relinquish the responsibility that you have to protect. You don't relinquish it under no circumstances.
COM members refuse to speak to press on the matter for obvious reasons. Their guidelines prohibit them from talking to journalists without obtaining permission from appropriate authorities. In recent times, states in the northeast and northwest have become volatile zones for both residents and visitors. Banditry, kidnapping, terrorism are regularly reported in these zones. In spite of this, the scheme still posts COM members to these troubled areas. Some COM members have lost their lives while serving their fatherland. The welfare of these COM members cannot be said to be better, as most of their camps and lodges are dilapidated. It is due to such issues that many Nigerians feel the scheme has run its course and should either be reviewed or scrapped. The claim by the management of the scheme that the set clause is only in some of the pamphlets raised more eyebrows. Some of the question begging answers are: why was the set clause not put in all of its pamphlets? At what point did the scheme decide to include the controversial clause in some of its pamphlets? How does the scheme decide which COM member gets the pamphlets with the controversial clause? Helen Osamede Akins, TVC News, Abuja.